Hello there, and welcome to part 3. We're going to fix the electrostatic precipitator. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fix the electrostatic tweeter. Actually, good news is I had tried to test this with my Fluke, which was probably not the best idea because the lowest it goes is 1 nanofarad. So this should read around 300 if it's conducting fine and everything. So I have it hooked up to the send core, and sure enough, I get around 300. And the only thing here is, if you can see, I freaked it out. So the foam is bad in here, and it does affect the contact. One of the things that was mentioned was that a lot of times people had realized with these that it wouldn't work, but if you wiggle the wires you could get it to work. So the foam definitely needs to be replaced, but it's making good contact, so the corrosion will probably be minimal. I just have to find foam. Oh, how did I get stuck like that? Alrighty, so the way these go together here is this is the outside piece. The inside piece, there's these 3 melted sections, which I've already clipped out. And then it's held in with some sticky glue versus slippery glue. And it should just... I've already had this out. There we go. Obviously there's still sticky glue on it. There we go. Okay, so basically what there's going to be inside here is a round strip of foam that presses the conductive material up against a ring in here. Now this has got rivets, so I've got to take those out, and I should just have to, probably while I'm in here I'll clean it, but I should just have to, like I said, get a small piece of round foam. But I'm not sure because it looked on the 2 different sites I came across, it looks like they used some slightly different foam. I mean, slightly different tweeters. Now, I did come across one that did this particular radio, and the tweeter he pulled out didn't look quite like this. It had a whole piece of foam across it with holes in it, and this definitely doesn't have that. And this is, even though this is round, there was a second one that he had done for a 3035 radio, and it actually looked like this, but it was a larger square one. So I guess we'll see what happens when I pry these rivets out. I'm going to see if I can save the rivets so I don't have to try to find some small nuts and bolts. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, as you can see, I pulled out the big guns. Alright, so I've got one rivet out, and the other one is carefully filed down. So theoretically, I should be able to pop this up like so. This is marked right. Okay, well, interestingly, this has no foam. Okay, but it does have this weird sprayed on stuff. Well, if you were ever wondering, this is what an electrostatic speaker looks like, the membrane, which is a little bit dirty, and this looks like a piece of of that kind of stuff. Alright, I'm going to assume here that this is conductive. Yeah. Okay, so I need to give this a cleaning. Well, that's kind of, well, I don't want to say cheap ass. Okay, well, hey, you know what? It doesn't have foam in it, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean it. And I don't know how to clean this stuff either. Let's find out which side is conductive. Okay, well, one side is and one side isn't. Well, that's going to be fun. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to... Not sure how I know how that's the front. It's see-through. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read on what I should use to clean that up. The washers here are kind of corroded, so that's probably where, or one side is on the positive, which would make sense because that's where this hooks up, by the way, directly to the plate of the 84 tube, EL84 tube, and that's about, well, I guess I could read it for sure. And that's going to be, this isn't the one with the voltages on it. Where'd my third one go? Well, it's going to be quite a bit of voltage. Oh, there it is. So that's getting about 250 volts across it. Actually, I think it does go through the, now that I think about it, it actually connects to the grid number 2. And it goes through a 100K resistor and that 1 nanofarad, that 1000 volt capacitor. Interesting, because it's marked on 500, so I don't know, maybe that grid gets a lot of voltage on it when you first turn it on or something, because it's only showing 221 or 245 volts. These are so small. I think that says grid 2. Yeah, grid 2. Alright, well, so let me go ahead and clean it up and see if we can get a slightly better contact. Alright, I am fitting this back together. I'm sorry I started to do this and then I realized I forgot to press the record button. So I have, this is the positive side down. I tried it the other way, it didn't work. So the conductive side is down, the conductive side goes negative and it gets sucked towards the positive. Alright, so I went ahead and I snapped this side in. As I said, I had not anticipated getting this back together was going to be a big pain. So, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see anything I'm doing here. Okay, so the conductive side is down. I got the rivet holding in one side. And now I'm getting the negative side in there. Okay. As I mentioned, this is a pain in the butt. So, side down. rivets being stupid now. Okay. I don't know if you can see. I didn't realize this is off camera. There we go. There. Okay. I got it. Ah. Right. I gotta figure out how to clamp this back together. I don't have enough of my rivet to bend down. Actually, I might on one side, but anyway. Oh shoot, gosh, you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. Here we go. So, the rivets are barely holding it in. I'm just curious now to see if I don't know if it really matters on this thing. And I don't think you guys can hear it. When I go to test it, when I run the value, I can hear it making a little pulsing noise as the... Well, anyway. Alright, well, if I put more pressure on it, I get about 300. Otherwise, I'm just getting a couple hundred. But I can hear it. And it gets louder when I press down. Okay, so I gotta figure out how to pull these two pieces close enough together so I can get more ohms out of it. So you guys can't see that. So there, I get my 300, and it's much more stable. Now that I wiped off the corrosion, I actually just used 600 grit sandpaper, because those are brass washers. So, and I guess I figured the spray that's on there must be gold, because it isn't tarnished, and it was pretty highly conductive. So, anyway, that would turned out a lot not to be what I expected. So, I guess I did finally get my parts today. They were only, several days late. So I'm going to go ahead, I guess, and start putting the film capacitors in there. I made an order for... I went on to Mauser, and they just didn't have what I thought I wanted as far as film capacitors at the silver mica values. So I ended up making an order with just radios. He has them in all of the values that I needed, and in addition to that, his prices are pretty low because they didn't have all the values I wanted on Mauser, and when they did have the values that I wanted, they were like $2-3. Now his weren't very cheap either. I got 5% instead of 1%, so they were all around $1 or so, but a couple of them cost $2 each, so they're definitely expensive. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, and I may have to go get some small screws to snap this in, or maybe I can just use some hot glue. Maybe clamp it down a little bit and then use some hot glue. I don't know. Let's find out. So thanks for watching, and oh well, I'm not going to actually send this up yet. It's too short, so I'll see you. I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back again. And I was able to use a punch to spread the rivets while I had it clamped down very precariously or carefully with these, and so that was holding, but I had a problem with one of the sides where it was being held on the on where the rivets are, but the sides were a little popped up. I assume that's where the plastic that was melted over it before came in, so I just grabbed my soldering iron and melted the plastic a bit where it was before. While I had to pinch it with my fingers, because if I pinched it too much with the clamps, it was shorting. So what I've ended up now with is I have about 360 picofarads, and it's making noise. So I wonder if you guys can hear that. Not sure if you really care, but just for the heck of it, maybe you'll hear it. Oh, see, it doesn't like that. Well, it's okay if I don't touch it, unless I had these things were, shorting. And well, maybe I should just get it back in the base and leave it alone. Let's make sure it goes back in okay. And it goes in like so. I think I'll use a dab of hot glue to hold it in. And that will be easy enough to get rid of. No, it's still working. Okay, well, alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and maybe I'll just grab a little piece of double-sided tape to hold it in, because this goes against the grill like so, so I'll see how that works. It may be able to be held. Anyway, I'll do that. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the video. So thanks for watching. And again, like I said, I guess this didn't quite turn out or wasn't going to be the project I thought it would be, but I guess it never is. So I'll see you guys in video 4, and hopefully by then I'll have my capacitors all changed out.